Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Jeff's Cars. Now, this is a little bit different video than what I normally do, but there are some things out in the news that are really bothering me. And I did put a teaser on the last video about I'm probably going to do a video of something that I may or may not want, I shouldn't step into. However, I am concerned about the future of the car industry in the United States, at least over the next few years. Now, the issue is tariffs on Mexico and Canada being imposed by President-elect Trump after he takes office in January. Now, what's that going to do to the automotive industry? Well, there's already some news articles out on the internet, and I did a little fact searching, and one of the things that I believe this is going to be a huge thing where this is going to affect you, the consumer, when it comes to your next new car purchase, at least into the next year, if this tariff is placed into effect, or these tariffs are placed into effect. So here is some facts. General Motors, for the first half of 2024, General Motors imported from its plants in Mexico over 354,000 vehicles, almost 355,000 just in the first half of this year. Up to this point, it's hard to say because the numbers haven't been released. Now, of those 355,000 vehicles, the most of those produced are the Silverado and GMC pickups and the midsize SUVs. Now, let's think about that for a second. The Silverado and GMC pickups and midsize SUVs. What are some of the most popular vehicles that U.S. Americans drive? SUVs. What does the construction industry use? What does the agricultural industry use? Pickups. So, if there's a 25% tariff placed on imported goods from Mexico and Canada, is GM, General Motors, and some of the rest, which I'm going to name here shortly, are they going to be exempt from that? Well, no, because they have plants in Mexico and they're importing across the border. So my understanding is the tariff is going to be placed on anything that comes across the border. And this is to prevent the fentanyl and all these drugs and illegal aliens and so on and so forth coming through. I don't know how placing a tariff is going to affect that or not, but I'm not a real smart person, but that's my opinion. But so back to the Silverado and GMC and midsize SUVs. Middle America purchases those. That's what a lot of America buys. Middle America. The next manufacturer that it's going to affect is Ford. They have, in the first half of the year, exported 195,000, actually almost 196,000 vehicles into the United States. And of that's including the new Maverick and some light pickups and things of this nature. Because again, and these are some of the most popular vehicles. This is what Middle America buys. I mean, the Maverick being a $28,000 to $38,000, mini pickup. great little vehicle. I haven't reviewed it. I haven't driven one, but I think it's a great little vehicle. Uh, what are we going to do? Charge 25% more? Let's continue. Nissan, 181,000 vehicles exported into the United States from Mexico, and of that, it includes the Sentra, another vehicle Middle America buys. Stellantis. Now, we all know about Stellantis financial issues. That's been reported on all kinds of other YouTube channels and things like that. But coming from Mexico is the Ram pickup and a lot of the Dodge products. Again, Middle America is buying those. Toyota, 115,000, over 115,000 vehicles exported from Mexico into the United States, and that includes the Tacoma pickup. Again, a middle class vehicle. Let's go to Volkswagen. About 110,000 the first half of the year. Honda, 105,000 or more than 105,000 in the first half of the year. Kia, Mazda, and then last of the top 10 is Audi. Excuse me. So, of the top 9, those are vehicles that Middle America typically drive. Audi, that's a middle to upper class vehicle, depending on the model. So, what is that? What does that do for the American consumer? Is GM going to impose a 25% price increase to accommodate that tariff? Probably not across the board. The GM bean counters will probably absorb some of that tariff into their entire model lineup, which could be somewhere at about a 15 or 17.5% price increase across the board. That's a huge increase in price. So what's going to happen to the new car market? Excuse me. Sales will drop. Used car values will start going up again, which they have fallen a lot in the last 6 months or so. So it's going to turn around and rebalance things maybe, but it's going to put the price of a vehicle up to the point where the American consumer can't really afford it. At least that's my opinion. Now, moving on. Who isn't this going to affect? Well, mainly the European car manufacturers, and I'm talking about the ones that are imported coming from Europe, from Germany. Porsche, Volvo, Land Rover, Mercedes, Jaguar, Bentley, Rolls, and then let's go to the high-end sports cars, Lamborghini, Ferrari, some of those vehicles that only the wealthy can afford. They're not going to get a tariff put on them. Excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink of water here. So, I'm a little concerned and a little confused because not only is this going to affect the car manufacturers, but it's also going to affect the parts manufacturers or some of the supply chain. So let's say you've got a 2010 or 2012 Chevy Silverado 1500 pickup and your starter went out. And so you go to the dealer to get a starter. Well, they probably aren't going to have it because not only is the car have a 25% tariff attached to it, so does the starter. And so is the manufacturer or the dealership going to raise the price of that starter, or is it just going to have a price shortage while they're waiting to get that part coming to the United States? Because I can almost assure you that the starters and alternators and AC compressors and goodness. Um, they're also manufactured in Mexico. Uh, Things like wheel hubs and if they're not made in China, they're probably made in Mexico, unless they come out of Detroit. Now, it's going to vary because some of the manufacturers are, through Supply Napa and Advance Auto Parts and all of those other parts stores. Um, it just it's going to get tricky, and so some of the supply chain will actually be uh, affected. So, is this 25% tariff a good thing? I'll let you decide. But those of us in the automotive world, I guess if you own a European car, you might be in pretty decent shape because you can still get Bosch parts because they come from Germany. Or Bear parts, they come from Germany. But if you want a Mastercraft starter, um, well, it might come from Mexico, and you'll pay a little bit more for that in the coming months and years. Thanks for watching, folks. Sorry for the rant, and again, I think this is something I probably maybe shouldn't have stepped into. Uh, but if you want to comment, put it down below. Um, I may or may not respond, but these are just my opinions. We appreciate you watching. Share this with your friends. Have a great day.